Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. My name is Fatima Farmer. Thank you for being here. In this video, we're going to be talking about healing and how self-care is a journey. And also I'm going to be sharing some tips for you to create your own self-care routine. So the path and the journey of healing is a process, right? Something else that I really want to highlight in this video is that not only is it a process, it's not a linear process, right? So a lot of times when we think of a journey or we think of getting to a goal or a destination, right? Healing, self-care, self-love, we think that it's like this, I'm going to take this journey, I'm going to take this path, and I'm going to get to this point where I'm going to be fully evolved, I'm going to be this full version of myself, right? And I don't want to burst any bubbles and say that you won't get there, because you will improve, you will see growth, you will see changes in yourself, of course. However, it's not a linear path, meaning self-care and healing does not go like this. It doesn't even go like this, right? It goes like every way you can think of. It goes up, it goes down, it goes around, it goes all around, it goes backwards, right? So the reason that I want to share this is because I want to encourage you to have grace and compassion with yourself if you're noticing that you're still working through something that you thought you already learned. That's something that I've said so many times to myself on my journey. I'm like, I thought I was past this. I thought I knew it. I got this lesson already. I thought this, I thought that. And it's like, that is such a harmful way to think about your healing journey, because it is not something that you just check off. I've done this, I've done this, I've done that, and now I'm good to go. It doesn't work that way. So have grace and compassion with yourself. Now, if you're new to this and you're like, okay, I want to get into this journey and evolving and healing and self-love, where do I start? I'm going to share 3 things that you can consider. The first thing is to assess, right? To figure out where are you, to figure out what do you need. So if you are struggling with mental health issues, or if you are battling some type of illness that needs support from a professional, then you may want to start in that department. You may need to work with a psychiatrist or a psychologist, right? So you need to decipher, where are you? If you're in a space where maybe you don't have any urgent mental health needs or concerns, but instead you just feel like not yourself, you feel like maybe you want to talk to someone, then maybe therapy is a great place to start. Or maybe you're in a spot where maybe you've already been working with a therapist, but now you're like, okay, I feel like I have this goal that I'm ready to finally take a leap on and try, and maybe this business idea or something with a brand or something in wellness even, right? Then maybe it might be time for you to work with a coach, right? So assessing where you are and figuring out what you need is the first step. The second step is to test, right? So now that you've assessed where you are and you've gotten the idea of this might be the direction I want to go in, now you want to start testing stuff out. So test out therapy, right? I've talked about this before. We're going to be talking about therapy a lot next month, actually, but start to work with different therapists, right? Try out a therapist. If it doesn't work, it's likely that it won't on the first time, by the way, in case nobody told you. It's very likely that it might not be a great fit right away. But if it's not, try someone else. Test out different therapists, different platforms even, and see what feels the best to you. If you're interested in working with a therapist, especially if you're interested in working with a therapist that has a background of faith, click the link below, because I actually have a resource for you where you can save using a tool called Faithful Counseling. I've used it before and it's amazing. So I just wanted to plug that really quickly in case you are looking for a therapist that has a background of faith. And then the third tip is to perfect. Now, like I mentioned, healing is not this perfect linear journey, so it's never going to be perfect, right? But for the sake of what popped into my brain right before I recorded this video, which is assess, test, and perfect. Perfect is the third part, where you begin to build upon the foundation that you've laid, right? You build upon those things. So you begin to add new tools, you begin to add new techniques, you begin to add new modalities, right? So maybe you just started with therapy and journaling, and then once you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm doing pretty good and I feel like I want to go a little bit deeper, then slowly start to introduce new things into your path. So maybe you want to try EFT, maybe you want to try breathwork, which I teach, by the way, if you're interested in learning more about it. Or maybe you want to learn more about mindfulness meditation, right? So slowly start to add more things into your journey. And I say slowly because sometimes, right, thanks to social media and YouTube and all of that, we can get real excited about all the things really quickly without really doing our research or realizing that some of these things may not be for us. So for example, breathwork. Breathwork is, I'm going to make a lot of videos about breathwork, but really quickly, I'll just share here now that breathwork is basically controlling your breath in a very rhythmic pattern in order to help you achieve some of the benefits that you can get from meditation, and also a deeper level of emotional healing that you may not get from meditation, right? So you may have seen, if you search breathwork, a lot of what comes up is something called holotropic breathwork, which, no shade, because I think that everything serves a purpose, but that's not my personal favorite. It's very intense, and for beginners and people who are new to it, it's not the best introduction. It's kind of scary, actually. I prefer to do breathing techniques that help us to calm down the nervous system instead of kind of like amping it up and creating this emotional release. Now, I practice both, I teach both, I facilitate both, or multiple kinds, because there's way more than just two types. But I would encourage you, for example, if that's something that you're interested in exploring and maybe adding into your wellness practice, is to work with a professional, work with someone that is certified, work with someone that you can do your research on the person and understand more about their background and what type of breath work they're teaching, and where you can ask questions, right? I wouldn't suggest just Googling breath work and doing the first thing that pops up. You may even notice that on my channel and on my platforms, I don't really have a lot of content around breath work because I rather do it in a container where if those emotional things and triggers do come up, you have space to unpack them as well, because I'm also a coach, right? So I don't want you to just have this breathwork experience and then you're left by yourself to figure out what the heck just happened. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link down below where you can learn more about working with me one-to-one in a breathwork session. And we can also set up a quick conversation for you to ask questions and learn more. Like I said, it's important that you know who is guiding you in this practice if it's something you want to try. But there's so many different techniques, there's so many different modalities. So once you have figured out what you need, once you figured out what works for you and you started testing some things, give it some time and then start to introduce new things into your wellness practice. So I hope that helps for anyone that is trying to get started on their self-care, wellness, self-love journey. And let me know if you have any questions down below, and also comment and let me know, have you ever tried breathwork and are you curious to learn more about it? Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.